Well, good morning, folks. Today is the 21st of December 2025. Happy winter solstice day. Today is the shortest day of the year. The sun is rising at the latest time and setting at the earliest time. And after today, the days will get longer until June 21st, and then it'll start getting shorter again. So this is a graphic from the Midland, Texas area for the winter solstice. Excuse me, my allergies are bothering me. This is the official start of winter, the shortest day of the year, where the axial tilt in the northern hemisphere is tilted the furthest. It's actually closer. We're actually physically closer to the sun, but the tilt is the furthest. How can I say? The sun angle is the lowest today. So that'll only increase for the northern hemisphere. All right. So the sun is over the southernmost portion point of the year, the Tropic of Capricorn, shortest day and longest night of the year. And this is a graphic from Midland, Texas. So day length 10 hours, 3 minutes, 21 seconds. So kind of an interesting graphic here. Go back to the radar. Um, anyway, part of my introduction here. Hope you all doing well today. Like the video, like it. My name is Tim. Subscribe, and hope you have a great day today. I appreciate everybody watching, but we have a serious situation here along the West Coast. Flooding ongoing along the West Coast here. You see the radar from the Eureka area, especially. Heavy rainfall ongoing here. If we switch this to the local radar, get a better idea. Just heavy amounts of rain in the mountains as well. It's hard to make out that in the mountains there, but overall you see the rainfall here. Just incessant rainfall with some snow in the higher terrain. Moving up to the north here, right? And this is going to continue and move further south in the coming days. So this is going to be our main story to talk about. We're going to go through all the graphics for the local area. The atmospheric river event is going to continue for the foreseeable future, right? We're going to go through the graphics, like I said. We're also going to talk about some record temperatures that were set in the Texas area, southern Texas, and recently, and the warm weather in southern Texas is going to continue for a pretty long period here. The endless summer, they're calling it. Some light rain into Mississippi, Huntsville, parts of Alabama, and a cold front pushing through the northeast with lake effect snow, maybe some freezing rain and snow up to the north here. Pretty cold, right? Temperatures, let's put the surface fronts on here. For some reason, sometimes they don't, I don't know what the deal is here, but sometimes they don't appear. But what's going on here, there's a surface boundary. There it is. A warm front here with multiple low pressures coming on shore, which is just driving moisture on shore, rising up in elevation, and heavy rain here. So, going the temperatures, you can see where the coldest temps are in the dark blue here, way up north. And you see near 70 down here in Texas and South Florida. So, negative single digits up here in the parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota. Only below freezing here in the higher terrain out west. All right. But this moisture coming on shore, of course, it's not going to be that cold. But overall, not that cold right now compared to what it has been in the past several, I don't know. We've had a very cold push here. If you're in the northern tier of the U.S., it's been brutal. And that cold air is going to stay up north here. Now, let's look at the wind speed here real quick. Onshore here of the West Coast, very windy, right? And that's going to continue. Some higher winds push through the north with this system behind the cold front. Maybe some gusty winds when the cold front comes through in the south. Quick air mass change, not air mass change, just a drop in temperatures tonight for the southeast, but overall, not big impacts here. Not expecting much rainfall here in the middle Georgia area. All right. Interestingly enough, up here in the parts of Colorado and the higher terrain here, some higher winds, right? My oldest daughter lives out here in Colorado, and this was a few days ago when they had the PDS high wind event with the fire danger and stuff. So that's some pretty serious stuff out there. But excessive rainfall, we can see where the moderate risk of excessive rainfall is here. These 40% chance of um, 0.5 inches an hour between 12Z Sunday and 3Z Monday, greater than 8 inches possible in the higher terrain here. And if we could see the total QPF, the precipitation is trending like 8, they're around that range out here on the West Coast. All right. Now we go to excessive rainfall for tomorrow. Still in the higher terrain here, multi-day accumulations in the double digits out west here, and we'll focus in on it a little bit. Downeyville, higher terrain here. What I did is I switched this map out to the higher terrain. You can see the higher terrain here in California without the radar, without the excessive rainfall outlook, and you see with the excessive rainfall outlook here. All along Highway 50, Pollock Pines, Meadow Vista, Highway 50 here, all in the moderate excessive rainfall outlook. Into Sacramento, parts of San Francisco, all San Francisco really, okay? So when we look at the total precipitation expected here for day 2, not as high as today, but still very impactful given how much rainfall we're already getting, right? And some more rainfall up in the higher terrain up here, Olympia National Park. So very serious situation here. We go a little further out, excessive rainfall day 3. Kind of spreads out a little bit here, but the higher terrain all on the coast here, still San Francisco, Sacramento area, Eureka, Redding, all on the coast here, Salinas, Santa Cruz, all the way in the Los Angeles area as well. Okay, so I know I'm in the East Coast, but I care about people out here in the West Coast a lot, and my family used to live out there, and there's a lot of people live out here, and it's high impact event. So I want to make sure people are informed. I hope y'all watch this and get something out of it. So yeah, so the precip totals here on top of what's already fallen, especially in the Los Angeles area. Highly impactful event right near Angeles National Forest, Little Creek, Santa Barbara. All right, so for the rest of the country, the Northeast, we'll get some some snow in the coming days around prior to Christmas, but not highly impactful. But we'll go over those graphics as well. We go further out, the excessive rainfall moves further south. Day 4, Sacramento, Santa Rosa, Santa Barbara, all along the West Coast here. So still a very serious situation. Las Vegas, Nevada is going to get in on it with a marginal risk of excessive rainfall. Now, if we look at the total amount of precip here, let's day 1 through 5 here. See what the highest totals are, right? We go back to excessive rainfall outlook. Then we go to day 5. Still in parts of Las Vegas area, Prescott, Arizona, Kingman, Los Angeles, wherever Los Angeles, all up the California coast here. All right. So now if we do the multi-day, day 1 through 7, this shows the highest precip amounts, right? Approaching 20 inches plus up here. In the northern Sierra mountains, Sierra Nevada mountains, right? So very impressive rainfall totals and scary. Okay, it's just scary situation out here. Now, here are the key messages for the atmospheric river from the National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center. Heavy snow likely in the heavy precip, right? But heavy snow on top of that. High elevation snow for Sierra Nevada. Snow load impacts expected here. So definitely a serious situation. You can stop and read this graphic if you want to. I have a lot to go through today, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this graphic, but you can see what I'm talking about here. Now, these are graphics from the Sacramento area. This was issued yesterday. So today, heavy rainfall begins. Snow levels are pretty high. Breezy and gusty. Winds return. Rain continues Monday through Tuesday, then Christmas Eve. Potential for major impacts and mountain travel due to heavy snow on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So, this is another graphic showing the heavy snow for the holidays. 10 p.m. Tuesday, December 23rd to the 26th. Heavy snow possible above 5,500 feet. Not as much confidence in the timing and amounts, but overall 2 to 4 feet at the highest peaks and southwest gusts as high as 45 miles per hour. So the impacts from this rain and snow, along with the normal commutes, moderate impacts here, ponding water and roadway flooding, risk of mud and rock slides, snow levels, like I said, will be above 8,000 feet, and falling slightly to 7 to 7,500 feet. And this timing is what I talked about, December 20th through December 23rd. Maximum wind gusts today. Likely to be on the Lake Tahoe area and to the, I can't really read this, but kind of west, east of where the heaviest rainfall is going to be, but nonetheless impactful all along the coast and then higher terrain here. Flooding potential. This is a wider ranging graphic, 4 p.m. yesterday to 4 p.m. Friday. Rock slides, rises on mainstream rivers, urban and low-lying flooding, and there's a low burn scar sweat with a threat, but nonetheless, there's a threat there with this heavy rainfall. So just this was updated a few days ago, but it's still relevant right now. The Hanford, California area, pretty much the same situation here. Burn scar flooding, and the 1 inch, this was issued a few days ago, so pretty much the same as yesterday, but this graphic remains relevant. 1 inch of rainfall per 24 hours from Tuesday to next Friday, with even more snowfall at the higher elevations. Winter storm watch at high elevations here. Several feet by the end of next week, above 7,000 feet. And then snow levels as low as 6,000 feet by Wednesday. I think we already went over that graphic. We did. Sorry about that. Went over that one too. It says this is the excessive rainfall outlook. This is issued yesterday. So, and this is for the Hanford, California area. So the rainfall is going to move further to the south and east here towards this area over the weekend and through next week. And here's the probabilities of reaching flood stage for the Bear Creek, McKee Road. You can see with the rainfall increasing where it almost reaches major flood stage here, possibility, right? Although a lower chance of it reaching minor flood stage, but still a chance of it reaching major flood stage here. Although not very likely, I guess, but sorry, just reading through this. 5 to 25% chance of reaching action monitor stage. So it really depends where the heaviest rainfall accumulates here. So this is a graphic for the San Diego area. Starting on Tuesday, light rain showers beginning from north to south. Some southern desert areas may not see any rain at all until Tuesday night. Wednesday, Christmas Eve, and Thursday seem to be the biggest impact days. And next Friday into next weekend, this coming Friday, additional rainfall in mountain community snow expected, but the timing remains uncertain. This is the chance of 72-hour precip greater than 3 inches through this time period here. Through these areas, San Diego, Ontario, approaching 100% for these areas. So, based on model predictions, so take this for what it is, read it, and heed it here, guys, okay? You gotta be careful in these kind of rainfall events. I don't think people out west are as prepared for this much rainfall in this short amount of time. Flooding can just take over your vehicle, flash flooding, and whisk you off. Rainfall, flooding rain can pick your vehicle up and take you away very quickly here. And here's some peak wind gusts from this area, from the San Diego, California area, Tuesday through Wednesday. Not overly windy, but up on the higher terrain, approaching maybe 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. And there's a forecast rainfall and events for this whole event here through the December 28th. And you can see, we already talked about this, where the most impacts are going to be in the northern California and then the higher terrain here in parts of Southern California as well. Moving on to the local forecast here. Next 3 days, expect today high generally 60s to 70 degrees, lows tonight in the 30s to 40s. High tomorrow, cooling off some 50s to 60s, and tomorrow night 30 to 40 range. Then warming up Tuesday, Christmas Eve, highs between 60 and 73 and lows 35 to 45. Of course, we talked about this. Going to be warmer than normal. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, low to mid 70s are likely. And drier than normal conditions for the foreseeable future. Again, we went over this, but the high temps and precip chances are highest further to the north and west. Highs in the 60s to near 70 degrees, upper 50s up north. Tonight, partly cloudy. Generally highs in the 30s and 40s, lows in the 30s and 40s, and highs in the 50s to near 60 or 65 and further south. Partly sunny, partly cloudy, however you want to call it, to mostly sunny skies towards the southeast. So here's a graphic from the National Weather Service Brownsville area. November will, unless summer continue, most of November will finish out the top 10 warmest on record. So 76.2 degrees in the Brownsville area, the Callan area. Been very dry across the region, and this is the seasonal temperature and precip outlook which will maintain it likely above normal temperature and below normal precip for the foreseeable future here. And so there'll be cold fronts that'll move through, but there's always chance for a significant cold snap or two between Christmas and mid-February. All right, and La Nina, soil moisture, long-term trends, and other climate connections play a role. Arctic oscillation, Pacific North American oscillation, and the polar vortex all play a role in this. Wildfires will likely be a big problem in the coming days. And you know, what they talk about here is a location and extent of snow cover in the northern hemisphere could serve as a key indicator of how strong the cold fronts from north become through the upcoming winter season. So, in that vein, they are talking about there's a possibility because the snowpack is increasing up north, the cold fronts will be more potent as they move through. So, snow extent has increased, and you can see this in the graphic here. There's another graphic to the right showing the snow extent as well. We look at a graphic for the Brownsville area. Christmas Day, 80, Friday approaching 90 degrees here. And this is the travel forecast for the Brownsville area. You see that? Better get out your shorts here. And for today, highs in the 80s, right on the coast, maybe a little bit cooler, but approaching 90 degrees here in Brownsville. Lows tonight, 60s or 70s. Going to be very warm, guys. That's incredible. And tomorrow, we have some rain chances on the increase a little bit here for the Brownsville area, but for the most part, not expecting much rain. So for Midland, Odessa, Texas, I want to show you this as well. There was a daily record set for temperatures there. Previous record 79, normal high is 58. So you can see the record temperatures here. And this is another message, just the same thing, showing the graphic how warm it's going to be and the chances of being warmer. And then it's going to cool off, maybe a backdoor cold front push through. So breezy west southwest winds becoming north northeast behind a cold front moving from the north, and then it's cooled off already here. It'll probably cool off. Let's see, this is updated yesterday, so sometime today it'll cool off some. So, which you probably already know, but you had record heat yesterday in other areas. So when we look at the mid-levels of the atmosphere, it can really tell us some story here about what is bringing the rainfall to the West Coast and why it's doing that. Um, so beginning of this, you see 500 millibar heights, pretty, these are anomalies, right? So you have the anomaly out west here, right? And you have high pressure to mid-levels building along the east, the middle part of the country with a general west to east flow here with a little mid-level perturbation moving through the flow there on the east coast, that cold front pushing through the cold front, right? But you see mid-level high pressure building in the central part of the country, right? And another low around 500 millibar height anomaly swinging through the flow here into the northeast. You can see out west here, this low. If we look at go back to the Euro and show the relative vorticity. Got this system out here along the east coast. You can see this system along the west coast with little short waves moving through, bringing moisture on shore. Get a brief reprieve here, but the flow over the western U.S. continues here, and looks like a relatively strong system moving through the northeast. Maybe bringing a shot of colder air to the northeast. We have an upper level low or mid level low along the west coast. You see another one diving further south here, and looks like along the southeast coast, it wants to bring this system through the southern stream, right? You see this here? It breaks off. It's kind of removed from the rest of the flow here. This is around the end of the month. So we go to surface and precip. Let's look and see. So yeah, interesting situation here. Wow. Okay. This is 9 days from now. Here's your 540 line. But let's not lose sight of what's happening in the short term here. The West Coast is going to be inundated with moisture. Going to continue that way, right? And then you have this southern stream system, really that mid-level feature moving through the flow here. This would be a very interesting scenario if it sets up. This is 9 days from now. Now, let's look at the GFS. I didn't switch. GFS has a system way further north here. Let's go to 6Z. And go to vorticity. It's looking like the GFS doesn't eject the trough as quickly here. See how it doesn't swing it through the low level flow, but you see further out you have a deep dip in the jet stream here. Potentially very cold situation here if this does happen with the cold front pushing through. Let's move back to the Euro. Euro has a totally different scenario here. Tell you what, I'm going to put the Euro here. Yeah, so I reviewed this a little bit more, and the Euro on this run is showing this potential, on the 30th, but this is really far out, and this is the only model that's showing this. Plus, this is the only run this has been here, and you have a pretty stout CAD wedge in place with this possibility here. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that, see if that continues. But it looks like a short wave would be ejecting through the southern flow here and spawning maybe a low pressure in the Gulf. We'll just have to see what happens. That flow continues along the west coast. The potential low just kind of moves out to sea there. And you have that potential for a stronger cold push later in the period. For the New York area, I'm posting this because my brother lives up here and he wants to know how much snow they're going to get. You're going to have high winds with a cold front push through today. And the potential exists for some snowfall between the 21st and 24th, maybe between a half inch and 1 inch of snow on Christmas Eve. So that'd be nice to have that in that area. And here's data 3 to 7 hazards. We talked about this in depth, but hazards cold up in Alaska, really didn't talk about it. Heavy rain, heavy snow along the west coast, high winds on Christmas Eve and parts of the Mount West and the Rockies. Risk of heavy precip the day through 14, right? And that's what we're moving into, the day 8 to 14 range. The 28th through the 3rd of January. You can see how that rainfall picks up here in the northwest coast. The snowfall potential, same thing here. Just northwest flow event here. Winds, high winds expected. Let me see if I can update. The 28th through the 3rd of January, all along the northwest coast, inland, and further inland into the upper Midwest, northern high plains, central plains, and parts of Alaska. Hazardous temps only expected in parts of Alaska. Nothing for the continental U.S. Day 6 attempt, 10-day temperature outlook. Issued yesterday. Above normal temps for most of the U.S. except for the Northeast. Yeah, so below normal precip chances for the Southeast. Above normal for the desert Southwest. Parts of Southern California into the Pacific Northwest. This is day 8 to 14 temps. Maybe trending cooler than normal on the West Coast and the Northeast and into Alaska. Then above normal temps in Hawaii again. Day 8 to 14 precip chances, still below normal for the Southeast and the Northeast. Above normal in the Northwest, all along in the West and parts of the West east of the Rockies and the parts of the Mississippi Valley. And here's the day, the week 3 to 4 temperature outlook. Looking likely to be above normal for a good portion of the U.S., maybe below normal for the northern tier, equal chances in the white here. And below normal for the deep south for precip chances in the southeast. Above normal Hawaii. Below and equal chances parts of Alaska. Above normal on the west coast, still northwest coast. And the upper Midwest above normal precip chances. Kind of a long video today, kind of getting hoarse, talking too much here, but I appreciate y'all watching, and stay safe out there, and God bless.